Hearing Jiho's sleepy little voice, both Wayan and Taehyung instantly broke apart. Their eyes widened, face flushed deep red. Wayan quickly jumped down from the kitchen counter, her heart still racing from the kiss they had just shared. A moment later, Jiho appeared at the kitchen doorway, rubbing his tiny eyes, his hair tousled and his pajamas wrinkled. Mommy, he murmured in a half sleepy voice. Yes, baby, Vyan stammered softly, still trying to steady her breath, her voice trembling just a little. Jiho pouted. Where did you go? No one was in the room when I got up. Vyan smiled awkwardly, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Oh, baby, mommy just came to have some water. Taehyung coughed deliberately, trying to suppress a grin. Vyan turned to glare at him, eyes narrowing in warning, but that only made it harder to him to hide his amusement. He stepped forward and scooped Jihu gently into his arms. Baby, mommy came to drink water, he said smoothly, eyes glistening and with mischief. But she got scared of a little mouse, so daddy came to save her. Gio blinked in surprise, then turned to his mom. Vian scratched the back of her neck, biting her lips. Technically, half of what Taehyung said was true. Jihoon giggled. Mommy, you're so silly. You are big but scared of a tiny mouse? Vian eyes went wide. Hey baby, you are making fun of a mommy. Jihoon shook his head quickly, still giggling. No, but it's funny. Taehyung couldn't help it. He laughed along with Jihoon, their voice mixing warmly in the quiet kitchen. Vian, already flushed from what had happened earlier, folded her arms and pretended to pout. Okay, fine. You both are on one team now. I won't talk to you, either of you, she said, turning away dramatically and walking towards the bedroom. Taehyung and Jihoon exchanged amused looks, both smiling at her cute little act. And after she left, Taehyung looked at Jiho and whispered, That was a bad idea. Jiho, now, mommy upset. We need to say sorry. Jiho nodded through a tiny giggle, still escaped him. Okay, daddy. Taehyung refilled his hair and carried him upstairs. As they reached the bedroom door, Jiho was still smiling. Taehyung croaked down and whispered, Jiho, control your giggles, okay, or mommy won't talk to you. Jiho nodded, his face suddenly serious. Taehyung smiled, then slowly opened the door. Inside, Vayan was lying on her side with the duvet pulled up, pretended to be asleep, though her little pout was still visible. Taehyung gently placed Jihoon beside her, then walked around to the other side and sat down, effectively trapping her between them. Vayan stayed still, eyes closed, keeping up her act of being angry. Jihoon slowly leaned forward and pressed a soft kiss on Vayan's cheek. Sorry, mommy, he said in a small, sleepy voice. Jihoon won't laugh again, okay? Vayan heard instantly melted. She opened her eyes to see Jihoon sitting beside her as his big brown eyes filled with guilt, and on the other side, Taehyung quietly watching them both with an amused smile. She looked only at Jihoon, refusing to glance at Taehyung, still pretending to be upset. But when Jihoon leaned again, giving her another quick kiss on the cheeks, Wahan couldn't help it. Her lips curved into a soft smile. It's okay, baby, she said gently. Mommy can't be upset with her baby. She opened her arms and Jiho immediately crawled into them. Hugging her tightly, Vine wrapped his close, smiling lovingly as he giggled against her neck. Taehyung, who had been quietly watching the whole scene, suddenly let out a dramatic sigh. Oh wow, he said in a mock disbelief. So it's that easy for Jihoon to make you talk. Not fair. What about me? I want to be forgiven too. Vine didn't even turn his way, still holding Jihoon. She hummed, acting unbothered. Taehyung smirked. He knew that act too well. She was still pretending for Jihoon's sake. Jihoon giggled, turning to his dad. Appa, you need to try harder. Taehyung gasped playfully. Oh really? And what should I do? Tell me. How to make mommy talk to Appa again? Taehyung Vian stayed quietly, lying on her side with a fake pout, pretending to ignore them, though her lips twitched, hiding a small smile. Jiho thought for a second, then stood up and tiptoed to Taehyung's side. He leaned close to his father's ears and whispered, Appa, you also kiss mommy like I did. Then she won't be angry. Taehyung bit back a laugh and nodded, whispered back, That's a very good idea, Jihoon. Vine, unaware of what Jihoon had whispered, frowned slightly but stayed still acting angry. Jihoon climbed back to his spot beside her, proud of his secret plan. Taehyung went said softly, Jihoon, look that side and close your eyes and ears, okay? When Appa taps your back, you can open them again. Okay, Jihoon said obediently, turning away, covering his ears and squeezing his eyes shut tight. Vine turned her head slightly confused. What are you? She started to say, but before she could finish, Taehyung cupped her cheeks and a moment later, Taehyung pulled away. Still leaning over her, he whispered near her ear so Jihoon couldn't hear. His voice low and teasing. Baby, are you still angry or is it okay now? Her cheeks flushed crimson. She gave him a shy little push, mumbling, Stop it, her voice trembling slightly. He chuckled quietly, then turned and tapped Jihoon back. Jihoon spun around, smiling brightly. Taehyung grinned and said, See? Jihoon, mommy is talking to Appa now. Jihoon clapped his little hands happily but then paused, frozen in confusion. His eyes focused on Taehyung's lips. Appa, you have lipstick, he said seriously. Did you apply mommy lipstick? But both Taehyung and Vine froze, eyes going wide. Taehyung blinked fast. Huh? No, Jihu, you must be mistaken. There is nothing, he said, rubbing his lips awkwardly. Vine jumped in quickly, her voice slightly higher than usual. Yes, baby, why would Appa wear lipstick? But Jihu shook his head stubbornly. No, mommy, see, his lips are red. Appa, don't lie. Lying is a bad habit. How did you get lipstick? Vian stared at Taehyung, her expression saying, You better fix this right now. He gave her an innocent puppy eyes. Look like how I was supposed to know this would happen. Then suddenly he straightened up and said calmly, Yes, baby, Appa did apply lipstick. Vian eyes flew open wider. What? She mouthed instantly. Jihu tilted his head, but Appa, boys don't wear lipstick, only girls do. Taehyung smiled and sat down beside Jihu, keeping his tone serious. No, Jihu, boy can also wear something like lipstick. See, boys also have lips, right? And they get dry too. So Appa applied mommy lip balm, but I didn't know it would leave color. Jihu nodded slowly, accepting the explanation with childish innocence. Oh, okay, Appa. Vian turned her face to the side, biting her lips hard to stop her laugh. What an explanation, she thought, shaking her head fondly. Taehyung smiled victoriously, then said, All right, now enough talking, time to sleep. Both of you okay? He laid Jihu down between them, pulling the blanket over. Jihu yawned and, just like the night before, reached out to hold both their hands and place them over his tiny stomach. Vian looked at her, their joined hands feeling Taehyung's fingers slowly intertwined with hers again. But this time it wasn't for comfort or awkwardness, it was quite deliberate, full of warmth. Their eyes met across Jihu's sleeping form, and in that silence both knew something had changed tonight, something gentle, real, and beautiful had begun. And just like that, with Jihu's soft breathing between them, their fingers still locked, they drifted into sleep, ready to walk together on the new road their hearts had found.